Hello, thanks for coming today on a beautiful winter day here in Iowa. I'm hoping the snow is, we're kind of getting this out of the way here because we dealt with a pretty tough March, April last year, and so hopefully we can get through the next few weeks of practices and start to see some of this white stuff melt away here. We're very excited about the potential related to our group here this season. We're been into our third week of practices, and we have 41 guys that have been focused, and I would say even focused from the fall setting. I think they realize that we lost 25 seniors through the last two graduating classes, and some very good players, very successful guys that allowed us to continue to be successful at a championship level. I think one of the things that our guys know is that the chemistry and the culture component is still something that that we're building on. The thing about this group of guys, they realize it's more young, and I think as coaches we get excited about the youth component because we know we have guys for an extended period of time. Sometimes it's difficult with a lot of seniors, and because they're dealing with a lot of things that are real related to life, trying to get jobs, those types of things. 2 years ago, we had a senior class that would put into that category of overachieving, and last year, the group of seniors that we have, at least positionally, really kind of struggled, and struggled in different parts of the game. I think more from an offensive standpoint. We actually had one of our best team defenses that we've ever had here at Wartburg, and we had some good senior leadership on the mound, but for some reason, I think there's all kinds of excuses that we could put into it. We really struggled offensively and never got really things going in the right direction. So one of the things is that we've got a very large junior and sophomore class. We have 13 juniors and 11 sophomores. We have 13 freshmen. We only have 4 seniors, and those 4 seniors, none of the 4 have really seen significant innings. Just good kids looking forward to leading and hopefully having a good positive senior year. But I think the nucleus of our team is going to be our junior and sophomore group. I just kind of identified it. There's really 11 kind of guys that we feel right now are probably going to lead us, and 6 of them are juniors and 5 of them are sophomores. And even though they've had a lot of seniors sitting in front of them, all 11 of those have had impact, have gotten into games, and at least have something related to statistics going into that sophomore, junior year. It kind of begins on the mound. We have 4 of our top 6 pitchers returning from last year. And last year we knew we were going to be young, really on the mound. Besides, Tanner Eckhart was a senior. Austin Bowling was a senior. Those 2 guys did a great job for us last year, but we really were relying on freshmen and sophomores. And that usually doesn't happen too often. Dylan Gatto was a freshman last year for us, a left-handed pitcher, and he really did well for us last year, and we're excited about his development. Darren Kilpatrick was an all-conference honorable mention guy for us. That again is another tall kid that has had some success, not just at Wartburg. He led his team to a state championship at Cedar Rapids Prairie, and so those two kids pitched as freshmen for us last year, and I really did a good job for us. Ben Maluski was our number 2 starter last year, and Tony Rex. Both of those guys are juniors, and so we feel like that core of 4 guys, if they can continue to take steps forward, we feel very positive related to our pitching situation. We've got some positional guys. Actually, we had at the top of our order last year, the last series and in the conference tournament, we basically went underclassmen, and it's because they perform the best at the end. Manny Jeffrey ended up hitting 500 for us last year, and I wasn't smart enough to get him into our lineup earlier, and a lot of that was just, again, staying with seniors and not really wanting to probably rock the boat a little bit, but we decided to do that really at the end. And so Manny ended up hitting 3 for us in all of our conference tournament games last year, and he's definitely deserves that and will be in that particular setting. We had a freshman last year that started every conference game at third base that will move over to shortstop for us. Parker Ridge is one of the more talented defensive players we've had in our program. And so we're excited about him. JoJo McNair, again, started every conference game. Once we got into the conference season in left field for us, he's going to move over and play center this year for us. And very athletic. He was 22 for 26 in stolen bases. One of our best football players. The athleticism just comes out, you know. And I would say that it's a case related to on the baseball field too. So. We've got some other positional guys. Tyler Hovick has been in our program now for 2 years behind these seniors, and he'll start at second base for us. He's a junior. Tyler Noonemaker has had a number of opportunities, really even freshman, sophomore year, and a lot of potential. We're excited about taking a look and seeing if he can live up to that potential here as a junior. He'll be our right field starter. Joey Bauman has kind of waited his turn behind some very good catching. Joey is a junior this year. Came in, spelled Cody Heiler a little bit at different times last year, and is one of our captains, and I think is going to do a great job for us related to the catching side of it. Adam Sasha is a junior that had some opportunities in left field last year, and so I think that nucleus of juniors and sophomores really are excited about it's their turn. And that's the way that we're approaching it. And compared to a little bit of the underachieving we did last year, the word basically in our program right now in our early practices is about overachieving. And coaches, obviously, that's the goal. You know, you want the group of kids to overachieve, and that's where our focus is every practice, and we're talking a lot about it. It really comes back to a great attitude and approach when we show up. And if we can combine some intensity and toughness, you've got some good things going on. And I think that that's kind of what we've had. Again, the chemistry and culture have been based on those things. And so we're hoping we can continue to take steps forward here. We just realized there's a lot of roles that are up for grabs. And I didn't mention any younger kids, I feel like we've got a good freshman class. And so, you know, we're pretty excited about the opportunities. We'll be leaving for Florida March 1st through the 10th. We'll play 13 games and 8 playing days. So there's a lot of baseball that will be played there. The weekend we get back from Florida, we're taking another trip to Texas. I think it's the first time that a Wartburg team, that's where they went for their southern trips before I got here forever. And so it'll be the first time that Wartburg is kind of going back to Texas to get away from some of that early weather here that we've got. We do play St. Thomas the midweek that we get back after the Texas trip, and then we open up with the team that is supposedly supposed to win the Iowa Conference Championship here this season. So the University of Dubuque was voted by coaches as being that team here this season. And so we're hoping we can take these early trips and gain some momentum and see what Dubuque can do at our home field right that last weekend in March. So questions?
So you spoke on have lost 25 seniors over the last 2 seasons. Where does that senior leadership or just that leadership void kind of get filled in from? You know, when you have a group of seniors currently that doesn't have the experience that maybe most senior classes put on an average roster, you know, where does that leadership really come from on the team this year?
Yeah, well, we're hoping, you know, we talk about leadership can come from anybody on our roster, you know. I mean, whether it's just showing up and working hard and guys can see that, you know. really 2 years ago, we had one of the best leadership groups I've ever had. And then last year's group of seniors, because it was such a strong leadership group the year before, I think there was a little bit of a void that was kind of part of that process of maybe being a little bit underachieving. And I think that our sophomores and juniors for this year kind of saw that a little bit. I think that one of the things, top and bottom, is that our guys on the team this year feel like that the off-season programs were just so much better than they were last year, and I give them credit, for saying that, the 2 years previous, that it was more like the types of workouts that we had this off-season. So that's great to have them notice that and then do something about it. I think is a very positive stride forward, and that junior class, we've got some good leaders in it, and I think they've done a good job vocally and just by showing up and doing the right things consistently. We've got a very veteran coaching staff. Ryan Doty has been with us for, this is his 7th year now as our full-time assistant. Jared Perkle has been our pitching coach now. He's into that ninth year. Corey Carlson is in that 9th year with us. So, we've got, a coaching staff that's pretty veteran. We added Parker Bolt as a first-year guy in our program. So we're excited about the coaches, and I think the leadership is coming from them, but I think that we've got those juniors and sophomores in our program, and those seniors that have been with us too, have been doing the right things, and that's always positive. We'll see what the leadership looks like when we get into game settings, but it was very positive in the fall setting that we had, so hopefully we can build off of that.
How strong do you see the conference this year?
Yeah, I would say the conference is I don't think that we've seen so many good players returning. Dubuque was a little bit like us, not as much. I mean, they didn't lose, 9 seniors that really were impactful. We had 7 of 9 positional players, seniors, last year, and they lost some really good positional players, 2 or 3 that were really significant players. Their catcher, their third baseman, one of their pitchers. But the rest of these teams, Luther, Central, I would put them in those categories of having fairly veteran teams with they were young to a certain extent last year and now very veteran. So, I really think from top to bottom, it's going to be a dogfight, and so it'll be interesting to see, who can overachieve. I mean, that's really, it doesn't matter, if you got seniors, if they're performing up to their standard each day and overachieving, that team's probably going to win. From a consistency standpoint, winning at a championship level, that's what it's about. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Well, I think what it does is it just identifies that, it doesn't matter what kind of success we've had in the past. We had a senior group that was trying to win 4 consecutive Iowa Conference championships last year. And it was all kind of more offensive oriented. We really played a tough schedule last year. I swear every pitcher we saw was elite, and so we started questioning a little bit offensively. We just weren't performing extremely well, and then we get back into some weather that really we struggled a little bit, maybe even getting out of, kids got into their head a little bit, and then not having quality practices on our field, with positive weather. So there was some of that. Like I said, it wasn't, I felt like some of our senior pitchers really did a good job. So I don't want to put them in that category of underachieving. But just offensively, we definitely did. And we were very athletic last year, which is, again, something that we're hoping that we can see emerge. But that's what it's about. Hopefully, as coaches, every one of the coaches that just spoke are hopeful, expecting, overachieving, within their program. And if they get it, they're probably going to have a good season. If they don't, it'll be a roller coaster ride, which is part of that round bat, round ball thing that you try to eliminate the roller coaster that teams can get on. And so we were on a little bit of a roller coaster ride last year, offensively for sure.
With U.S. Bank not being available to the Final Four, how early did you start planning for that, and what factored into putting your non-conference schedule together?
Yeah, we really miss using that facility. I don't think the Vikings want us in the facility, and we're talking about, 250 to 350 college games going on, and there's 0 going to take place this year. So I think the Vikings would rather not have all those games in that facility, but it's so important. They got that money, from stating that baseball was going to be available and now not to have it. There was a lot of coaches scrambling around trying to find opportunities. So, we're going to take another $15,000 trip to Texas to overcome the fact that we just didn't have, that space available for these games. So, we're hoping the trip goes well. It's kind of nice to do different things, but we're really hoping that this facility for all the Midwest teams is available, because it's really hurt us. But Hurdle Field has had a number of upgrades, over the last kind of 6 to 7 years, adding field turf, the backstop with the netting. We redid all of our hitting areas with field turf. Our side mounts were all redone. With the number of games that are played there, considering that Waverly Shell Rock plays there in the summer, and it's definitely one of the nicest facilities, just from a field standpoint in our state. But now you add, 350 seat back chairs directly behind. We don't have any seating behind home plate. I mean, how many facilities can say that, or even want to say that? So it's a big deal. I think it's way overdue compared to some of the other outdoor facility settings. So, we've been hammering on it for about 20 years. So, we're really excited about having this take place, and I think it'll really kind of make this, definitely one of the best facilities. Hurdle Field will be one of the best facilities in the state.